So hey girl, hey, just wanted to do a video real quick because I'm supposed to be going out and meeting someone, but I wanted to do a video real quick because this was on my mind. So the last video that I did was why your relationship should be viewed as a business and how you should treat it as a business and how you should treat dating as a business and how you should be the entrepreneur for your life. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about defined roles when it comes to relationships or your business, if you consider it a business, and which you should, I feel like. And so I think that's very important. And one of the lessons that I've learned when it comes to relationships, and I have to make this really quick because I am late, is that defining the roles is so important, especially in today's society where everyone can do everything. And so I think it's important to really define roles. And I think that there's a lot of resistance against defining roles when it comes to your business, aka your relationship or your marriage. But here's why, and I'll say from personal experience, it's important to have defined roles and go into your business with certain standards, expectations, and what your roles are. Because it really is important, because you think about it, like, again, this, if you can use the metaphor of or liken your relationship or dating, your marriage as a business, then you'll see why. Because when it comes to running a successful business, you can't have, well, you can, but it's harder to make a business successful when you have two people playing the same roles, when you need another supporting role to make the business successful. So that's why it's important to define roles, whatever that is. And then, oftentimes I talk about feminine energy on this channel and the importance of feminine energy when it comes to the relational dynamics between masculine and feminine energy and how they work together in harmony. Now, why I wanted to talk about this is, oftentimes, and this is where I get I don't want to say I get annoyed, because that is too strong of a word. I don't get annoyed, but you can't find a lot of information about how feminine energy and masculine energy, they work together, how they work together to create magic. You don't see that often. You can find a lot of videos on characteristics of feminine energy, characteristics of masculine energy, how to be more feminine, how to be more in your feminine energy. Those are great, but how can you embody feminine energy and then work in, is it tandem? Is that the right word? I think. Working in, how can you marry the two together where they work in harmony? That's where I feel like a lot more videos need to be done. Like, a lot more information needs to be shared on how they work together versus, okay, now I'm in my feminine energy. Like, I'm in my flow, I'm in my feminine energy, but how does that work? And so when it comes to defining the roles of your business, your relationship, especially when dating, you have to know what role you wish to embody. Not to say, and I said this in my other video, that as the business expands, as your marriage expands and grows, that doesn't mean that your roles can't expand as well. So it's a fluid thing, and so the roles will change, they will expand, and they will grow, just like in a business. Because anytime that your business grows, the roles within the business grow as well. It grows with it. And so defining the roles are so important, because I was listening to the radio the other day, And I understand people don't often think about but I always just look way too deep into things when I'm listening to things. But the guy on the radio said, the world would be such a better place if everyone gave or were givers, which I understand the sentiment. However, someone has to receive it, right? So if everyone was giving and no one was receiving, then what are you doing at that point? Because it doesn't make any sense that everyone's giving and no one's receiving. So people have to be receiving. And so, not to say that those dynamics can't be, fluid and they change, but there has to be some sort of dynamic that works in harmony. It has to be harmonious. When you think about a business and the roles within the business, they work in harmony to ensure the success of the business. And so you're not just, and like if you have a role within a business, you're not just playing a role for no reason. You have a purpose. Like there's a purpose to the role, and it's to ensure the growth of the business being successful, and these kind of things. And so that's why it's important to not just embody the role, or first of all, you have to have an idea of the kind of role that you wish to play within your relationship or marriage, your business. But you also, what was I saying? Gosh, I do this all the time. I don't remember what I was saying. I just totally blanked. I do that often. That happens. It happens, girlfriend. But I just wanted to make this video real quick on why it's important to define the roles, because if you go into a business wanting the same role, that's typically not what happens, right? Like in a business, you compete for the role. There's one role and people compete for it. And so in a relationship, you will be competing. And that's not a healthy thing to do when it comes to a relationship and dating. And even with dating, and I've said this in the last video, I think this is what I was going to say, being very clear on the role that you wish to play. What does the dynamics of that relationship, your ideal business, your ideal relationship, what does that look like? You have to be very clear. And so when you're dating, you see. So I can say, like, I'm very clear on what I intend. And so if I encounter someone that's in the same role that I wish to play within in my business, then I can see that that's not going to work out in the long run. Not to say that they're wrong for wanting that role, not at all. It's just not in alignment with my business. And so being very clear on the roles is so important. Again, anytime that you are calling in to your life certain things, you have to be clear. And this is what manifesting is. You have to be clear on the role that you are calling into your business. So when you're manifesting, you're very clear and you know exactly what you are manifesting into your business. And I always preach about specificity, you know what I mean, being specific, okay, being specific. Because you can't manifest from unclearness. I just made up that word. You can't manifest from that. Oftentimes people are like, I want to manifest an amazing life, but what does that look like? What does that look like? You have to be specific. So what is the role in which you're manifesting into your life? You have to be clear on that role, but you also have to be clear on the role that you wish to play. So you need to know the different roles, the attributes of your partner that's going to be in your business. So I just wanted to do this video real quick and how important it is. You know, oftentimes we want to manifest love, but what does that look like? Because my idea of love can look so different from yours. And how I receive love, how I give love, how I demonstrate love looks different to you. And so, receiving, giving, demonstrating, you have to be clear on what that looks like. And so, defining the roles and writing your list and your job description and these kind of things is so important. And that's all for this video. I did that pretty quickly, I think. But I just wanted to share that and make a video real quick because I am late, girlfriend. And that's all for this video. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already, I invite you to subscribe to my channel. You know, I think I want to do a series on this because it's so important when it comes to manifesting, being specific. Because I'll tell you one thing, I've manifested a few things, especially of recently, where I wasn't specific and they manifested, and I'm like, that's not what I intended. That's not what I intended, but okay, I'll receive it. I will go back to the drawing board and be more specific. So anyways, that's all for this video. And until next time, you guys, I will check you guys in the next video. Peace.